And bam, 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 bam. What is up? And welcome back to Nando Talk. My camera's a little out of sync back there. Fixed it. We're good to go. We are live and we are streaming to cover day 6 of Dolphins Training Camp. The third practice open to fans was cut a bit short today, at least for us fans. There was rain and lightning around. Well, honestly, it started around 11 o'clock, but practice got moved inside around 11:40ish, so they weren't able to see the end of practice. But that's fine. That's okay. We understand it because at the end of the day, we're here to talk some Miami Dolphins football. The boys still had a very good practice, a lot more back and forth, honestly. Were, both sides of the ball were really making some plays and canceling out the other one. For example, when Tua would throw a nice play to an open Braxton Berrios, Javon Holland Wakata at the last second, he got in there with the stop. Our O-line made a nice hole. Ryan Hayes actually put Jalen Phillips on his butt, and then bang, it looked like we were getting a nice run play. David Long cleans up. So give and take, back and forth, both sides really trying to make their presence known, but a big change from the last 2 days, which were a lot more defensive sided. Now we're starting to see both sides of the ball really starting to round into form, get into that shape. Thanks for tuning in right now, guys. It's going to be a shorter episode today. Again, practice got cut short, and so is my talk, honestly. I'm going to be going for about 30 minutes just to really hit the high points. Again, really going to be some more defensive talk. I was looking at linebackers once again. We're starting to hear Channing Tindall's name a little bit better, performing well in drills and just starting to get more involved in actual 11 on 11, actually making plays. I need to see a little bit more of that from Garrett Nelson, who's doing well in the drills, not getting as much in field reps, but hey, that's fine. He's an undrafted free agent rookie. The UDFA out of Nebraska has to keep earning his spot, but he's already earned a role in my heart. I love the middle linebacker. I think he can be a nice big boy. But Aubrey Miller is also doing very well out of Jackson State. I've been keeping an eye on 52 for the last 2 days. And while David Long Jr. has been stealing the show, Aubrey Miller has been performing pretty well also. Aubrey and Garrett Nelson are both really gelling with the team. It seems like the other linebackers are having some nice banter with them. Coaches constantly come up to them, dap them up. It's really interesting to see how some of the veterans are interacting with the young guys, especially on the defensive ball. Everybody wants to talk about it, but Jalen Ramsey pulled up to practice, even with his injury. Okay, fresh off of surgery, and the man is already in the Florida Heat on the crutches, hobble around the one leg, but they're supporting his team. Even talking to young guys like Cater, especially with Cam Smith, he was giving him whispering in his ear, giving him pointers, teaching him tips, almost not a passing of the torch, but it's like, hey, hold my beer, man. Like Jalen Ramsey understands he's going to be out for a bit, and it's like, hey, Cam Smith, let me talk to you. Let me teach you how to step up in my absence so that my seat stays warm for when I come back on the field. Not to send you back to the bench, bro, but so that Ramsey and Howard can be that solid top tier cornerback duo. And then Cam Smith will have gotten the experience. And then think about him as a slot corner or as a special packages on the nickel and dime. My God, our secondary is so deep, so talented. I love to see Ramsey out there. I hope he keeps coming out there. Miles different from Byron Jones and from Will Fuller, getting injuries and hightailing, disappearing with their money, tuck and tail, and just doing their own thing. Which I guess in Byron's case, you're not forced to come to practice. But what Ramsey does is awesome. It's that extra level of leadership. Nick Needham is also at practices as well. Brandon Jones with the no contact. He's still with the red jersey, but he was on the field. Nick Needham is not practicing in general. He was out in the sweatpants. He was trying to do some drills on the side, some little tip drills. But at the end of the day, guys like Needham, guys like Ramsey coming out there, injuries and all, trying to give their little pointers, trying to give their voice to teach and to better the rest of their teammates is an awesome sight to see, honestly. And it's one that I can hope continues throughout the season. Well, I hope there's no more injuries to the rest of our Dolphins, but if they maybe, I hope this is a well put together team that wants to fight for each other, man. That'd be awesome to see. Let me go to the chat right now. Seeing some little bit of heads coming in. Adam Sadowski, thanks for tuning in, man. I'm glad to be back as well. Thanks for tuning in. We're starting to get the live streams back in a roll, and I'm trying to get on a Monday to Friday basis, especially with training camp popping along. So YouTube thumb 8. Let's fucking go. Miami Dolphins and Nando. Sup, broski? Raphael, thank you for tuning in, man. Oof, we're here. I got my hat back as well. So it's coming along pretty nicely. Um, Right here, we got Bennett Williams, who did not practice today, undisclosed injury, him and Keanu Crossan. We've got Xavier Howard right there, Javon Holland, a little Blake Ferguson, Bradley Chubb, Bangarang. We got Channing Tindall, Mike White, and of course, Nicky Needham right there. So funny enough, the day that I got the Howard and the Holland signature, I was wearing the Tua jersey. I could have worn either my Howard or my Holland jersey, and I would have retired that jersey, hung it up on the wall forever, and that would have been glorious. But hey, on the hat as well, hoping to keep this as a little good luck charm, get as many Dolphin signatures as I can, and rock it to all the games. Let them know that, I'm carrying the boys with me into the stadium. Uh, ooh, who was I impressed by today at camp? Thank you, Rafael, for getting me back on track. Oh, my fellow friend, mi amigo. Let's get back to it. David Long was once again impressing me. I was really excited about that. I was hoping that yesterday was not some flash in the pan, was not some little, hey, I balled out day 2 of the fans. I can now relax and take it easy. No, on every play, he continued to teleport there, continue to show off his speed, his instincts as well. And it's getting me really excited that we're going to have a good middle linebacking core. Tyndall, also, I was talking about earlier, same kind of notion. I really do believe there's going to be a year 2 spike from him. If Fangio can't figure out these guys, if he can't figure out roles for our young linebackers, no one really will. But I'm confident in Long right now, and I think Tyndall's going to have a nice day, a nice season as well. Cam Smith also continues to impress. Ryan Hayes, also, that's a nice name to watch out for. The 7th round rookie out of Michigan. Remember, guys, he played 40 games at Michigan, 29 at left tackle, but he can play some guard as well. He can move around. Great to know. I think that, again, I'm not hoping for any injuries, but I'm a little bit more at ease that there's some depth options in case that some guys do go down. Ahmed and Gaskin continue to show some speed. I really want to see A-Chain hit it. I don't think we've seen the full extent of his speed. He was catching the ball better today, which is good considering yesterday he had a couple drops. It's going to be pretty needed considering guys like Tua were really just checking down when they had to. Again, our defense is stifling, not letting up a lot of room. So those checkdowns are going to be freaking critical. Long is the new Zach Thomas. Matt, thanks for tuning in, man. That would be a glorious comparison. Honestly, I would love to see that. I had a little vision of Garrett Nelson and Zach Thomas. That would be an awesome happening for me. That's something I've been calling. But hey, if David Long is going to be used in that new role, so be it, man. I would love that. The reason I want Tyndall to develop into a middle linebacker like that, I hope that David Long is ready to carry that torch because we haven't had a real linebacking presence there since the Carl Stansby days, since freaking Zach Thomas, honestly. So it's something that it's been a concern for the Dolphins for so long. We always complain about the offensive line, but having a linebacker is something we've also really missed. So I would love that. I really like Jerome Baker. Contract is something else, but I think he's more of a 2. And if he can get back to doing what he's comfortable with, using his athleticism to get after the QB and letting a guy like Long clean up, rack up tackles, that would be absolutely stupendous for me. That'd be the best case scenario. And I've got to believe that's what Fangio envisioned in his mind. Remember, Fangio took the year off last year, studied defenses around the league, and he chose the spot he wanted to come back into, step back into this NFL fray. And with a vision in mind, with a defense in mind, with 2 new coverages of his own, 2 new schemes to look through. And I think that Long fits that vision. He knows what he had in Baker already. And now he sees what he can do with him and Long. Possibilities are endless, baby. It is endless. Hopefully, though. Hopefully. Ray Guillon, thanks for tuning in, man. I love the interactions always on Twitter, man. Thanks for hopping on the channel right now. Howdy, saludos. Can't wait for the beginning of the season. Go Fins, man. That is exactly how I'm feeling. The best part about training camp today, I actually went alone because my buddy Alan felt a little sick. Hope you're feeling better, Al. I'll see you on Thursday. We'll be riding together again. But I was able to just really sit back and just enjoy the presence of the Dolphins. I actually try to go up as high as possible despite showing a little late, but as a solo dolo, I was able to pick my seat, choice of the litter. I try to go up high just so I could breathe in and enjoy all the Dolphins, the energy, the players, just the feel of football is back. The Hall of Fame game is on Thursday, and I cannot wait for the season. August 11th, the Finns start playing as well for the preseason. It's going to be some magic. I can already feel it in the air, and I cannot wait for the season to start either, right? So thank you for tuning in. William, thank you for watching. Nando, back again. Thanks for giving me a good listen for finishing up at work. Yes, hey, I've got to get a little bit more consistent with my scheduling, but I'm glad it's able to work out that you're able to listen at work. So, hey, talk about working out. So we're good to rock, William. Hopefully, we'll be able to guide you through some nice Dolphins talk until you're done. Bada bing, bada bang. Mr. Duke from the land down under. Hope you're enjoying a nice little Vegemite sandwich, enjoying the nice docile sounds of the Nando talk and some Dolphins news. Bangarang. Oh, always a great pleasure. We got a good group of people in the chat right now. Let's go. It's great to hear linebackers making plays. I'm not disappointed with CB dropping interception. I'm still worried about season outcome due to Tua. Raphael, definitely. If I was seeing like our QB2s balling, like if Mike White was making plays left and right, Skylar Thompson was rocking it down the field, and Tua was the only one consistently struggling, I would feel a little bit more concerned. I'm still in the belief that the Dolphins defense is just absolutely crushing it. And while I've talked a little bit nice about Ryan Hayes and Austin Jackson is doing decent, Liam Eichenberg had a solid day as well. We still don't have our true offensive line out there. So I'm going to attribute the quarterback woes, the struggles a bit, which they were cleaning up today, better than the last 2 days. Still not where we want to get, but upward trend. I'm going to have to attribute it to our Dolphins defense being spectacular. The offensive line still not there yet, and we're still coming into the own. Fangio's got them fired up. It's Tua said it best in his own press conference. You know, Fangio describes his defenses very well. You can't tell what's going on until the play starts. That's only going to help Tua get more reps against that. A lot of the more successful defenses in the NFL come from that Fangio tree. So if he gets to working at it and figuring it out bright and early since the start of camp, it's going to be a little rough going right now, but I like it in the future. I think it's really going to pay off, man. But linebackers are making plays now as well, and that's an awesome thing to hear. We're even having some, like I said, even our UDFAs are really doing well. Aubrey Miller, who I thought was going to do well, but Gary Nelson's been a nice surprise. If Tyndall can pack it in for year 2 as well, really put all those little things together, he has the athleticism. If he can put it all together, if Fangio can find a role for him, even if it's a QB spy position, like we should see an improved linebacker room with this much improved defense. So I'm not too worried about Tua. Dude, yeah, salute, brother. We're good to go. Anything from A-Chain. He's still showing off the speed. It's still not full tackling. There is contact because there's pads. What's up, Jay Nichols? Thanks for tuning in. But besides that, I was happy that A-Chain was catching the ball better today. Yesterday, he was making a couple thumb drops. It was a little far, but you got to make that catch. If it hits your hands, especially both, A-Chain's got to secure that in. Checkdowns can happen anytime. You got to be ready, rookie. Today, though, he was ready. He extended himself very well. He brought it in. He ran after the catch a bit. He was finishing plays. I liked what I saw from A-Chain today. I don't think that hit the speed difference between Ahmed, Gaskin, and A-Chain should be that close. I think he's still got to let it ride a little bit more. But when he gets that full big burst, I'm going to love it. I'm going to freak out when I see A-Chain start really bursting off the speed. Last year when Mostert took the field and finally unleashed himself, you could tell the difference between him and Edmonds, and I'm hoping to see the same thing from A-Chain and the rest of our running backs. Missing on the chat. I'm going a little slow. Sorry about that, guys. Fins up, Matt. Thank you. Football's almost here. Let's go. There we go. Nando. Ooh, Cap for life. Thanks for tuning in, my friend. It's a good time. Saw on Twitter that you went to camp. That's awesome, man. It's always a good vibe. Maybe I'll see you on Thursday. It's got a lot more training camp to go, man. I heard still holding on to ball and get possible sacks. Same problem from year 1. Your thoughts on Tua holding ball in camp? I get what you're saying. There was definitely some frustrating moments where it's like, at least toss it up, man. It is training camp. Be a little loose with it. That being said, there's not a lot open at times. He is making his reads. He's trying to find guys open on the field, and occasionally, bam, you'll see a nice play to Waddle, to Hill, to Robbie Anderson on 3rd down, but to Chosen Anderson, excuse me. But there are still times where Tua holds onto the ball, or where the whistle is blown dead and he's trying to run it up. Whistle's blown, buddy. Plays over. It's a sack. Um, but it's not necessarily like he's missing windows, he's missing holes. I will say Skyler occasionally has missed a couple windows. Mike White, not really. Mike White, if anything, has had the most balls at camp, honestly, where Tua is holding on to it a little bit more. Mike just says, F it, let's let it ride, and he tosses it up a little more, which you like to see. Granted, he knows he's playing for a backup role right now, so it's not the same level of pressure, but I'd like to see Tua at least sling it out a little bit more, even if it's covered. It's practice, man. Let's let it fly. Let's let our boys get a rep in. Yeah, man. I just went to the top, bro. Like I came a little late. My buddy was feeling a little sick, so I just went up to the top, just try to calm myself, be a little relaxed as possible, and just vibe, man. It's probably a more social on Thursday. I was thinking that after, with all the little autographs, I'd run into people. Like I saw Jason there on Tuesday, so that was pretty dope. But it rains. We kind of just ran out of the stadium, man. I had this hat on. I was not trying to mess it up, so we're good to go though. Cap, I'd hope to see if you're still there on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'll be there, man. What does he mean, this guy's pre-snap movement or after the snap? So I'm not exactly sure what he said in the interview. I know I was paraphrasing, but I'm particularly not the best at reading defenses, so I struggle at them in general. But what Tua was hinting at more is that like he can't tell what they're exactly going to do if Fangio's going. I guess he means pre-snap. Once the ball is snapped, the vision clears up, but then it's reacting in the moment, So I want to see if Tua can start picking up stuff beforehand, and really figuring out what's the right thing to do. So we're not getting clamped, and then we're like, oh snap, 3-4 seconds have passed by, no one's open, beep, plays dead. Because Tua doesn't have the legs to beat the defense on the ground like that. So I've got to see Tua improve on that aspect. Yeah, Chris Brooks, baby, made me learn his name today. I'm not sure what number he is. I'm going to pull up his roster right now, but Brooks had a nice, nasty play. You heard the crowd. Oh, what number is he? I don't even know if he's on the. Oh, yeah, there he is. Oh, yes, he's the other 33. So Eli Apple is 33. He doesn't have a name. Chris Brooks, 33, does have 33 Brooks on him. 6'1" running back, rookie, 223 pounds, out of BYU. Ooh, why is it not giving me an age here? That's very weird. But he is a rookie. That's awesome to see. He had a 95-yard run. That is glorious, 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 man. The more we get some action like that, if he could be a little like a little Zaquandre White again, I'm down for it. Julian Hill is the tight end you're talking about, 6'4", 251 pounds, number 89. He had a couple nice plays. Our tight end room, it's not like the fastest, but you can definitely tell the size in our tight ends, particularly considering our wide receivers. Ezra Khan was the biggest guy at 6'2", 6'3". So when we have tight ends at 6'4", 6'5", they definitely look like giants out there. So I'd love to see a little bit more from our tight ends. Oh, that's what you were asking, Duke. Boom. I was reading this T.E. Hill thing, but our tight end unit, yes. Durham Smythe yesterday, that's a nice catch. Today, a little bit more of the same of guys like Higgins, guys like Sauber, just using their big bodies to just really make that difference in the red zone. I'm really going to hope we utilize that. I mean, I'd love to feed Tyreek touchdowns, considering last year he didn't have so many, but we all know we're going to need some size back there. And with Gesicki leaving, it falls to guys like Higgins, Smythe, Saubert. They're the new biggest guys on our team. Roberto, thank you for tuning in, man. Cam Smith. I was touching a little bit on it yesterday, but keeping my eye on him today. And with Ramsey talking to him after the drills, working on little things, and just seeing Cam Smith improve over the last couple of days and just continue to work hard, see those glimpses, see those pass breakups, I'm excited. Like, I'm a silver linings guy. I'm Mr. Positivity. So when Ramsey went down, the only thing that could keep me from falling into a pit of despair was thinking, we've got a young secondary. Ramsey was awesome to bring in, but if he were to go down, so be it. because now we have the chance to let guys like Kader Kahu shine. Let Trill Williams come back from the injury and continue to work. When Nick Needham returns as well, he'll be in there ready to slide in. But Cam Smith might be the biggest beneficiary of this entire incident. Okay. We're talking about a rookie, second round. He's got the draft pedigree. The talent is there. It was a good cornerback class, and we got the young Gamecock. He's got size. He's a good press coverage corner. He's nice at man. He seems to fit what Fangio wants to do. And we saw the clip. Draft night happens. Cam Smith gets selected. Mike McDaniel looked so disinterested. It was clearly a Fangio pick, and I really liked that our new defensive coordinator came into the building, strolled in, and said, hey, first pick, we're using it on me. I need this. I need this cornerback. They're like, what? You just got Jalen Ramsey. I don't care, man. Get me Cam Smith. Greer went out and got Cam Smith. And lo and behold, he seems to be paying off. Now that Ramsey's down, he's been getting time to shine. Igbinoghene is still taking cornerback 1 reps, which is a little weird. But I have to believe that Cam Smith is going to get more and more chances to be in that role. It's almost like he's got to earn it still, but earn it he has. He's been doing some great reps on the 2s. It's only a matter of time before he fully breaks onto the 1s. Him and Xavier Howard and Cam Smith on the outside, or if it's Xavier Howard, Cater, and you've got Cam Smith on the inside covering the slot, I'd be down for it. My impressions of Cam Smith is we've got a good cornerback, still young, still a little raw, but remember, Xavier Howard was also a raw second round corner out of Baylor. He said he was good, physical corner, good press, very good with his hands, just need to clean up a little bit of penalties. And Cam Smith kind of falls along those same lines. So I'm really excited for his development. Hopefully, thrusting him in early, he floats, does not sink. I'm hoping for that. He will be a baller, Matt. To sum up my entire spiel, that's exactly it, Matt, in one word. Cam Smith will be a baller. Boom. Or it's simple to the point, but he really will be. If O-line underperforms, is McDaniel just as much to blame as Beard? If O-line underperforms, is Mike McDaniel just as much to blame as Chris Greer? Yes. Greer builds the team, obviously, but McDaniel takes care of the offense. We're on our second offensive line coach. It's Butch Berry, I believe. And I'd liked him to be the answer. Matt Applebaum last year was a risk, getting a guy from college, from Boston College, and thrusting him into a professional role was a little tough, and it didn't work out for us. If it doesn't work out with Butch Berry this year, if it's another Achilles heel, granted, last year we went from 31st to 26th. I'd like to improve to at least 21st. In an ideal world, we're cracking 18, 16, but it's going to come down to health. So if it's just a bunch of unlucky injuries, it's not necessarily McDaniel's fault. It is something to put him on the hot seat for, and we're not going to fire him or anything. But if we have a healthy O-line and it just looks like a shot and mess, and there's no excuses, then that's going to bring a high eye to it, Duke. So McDaniel definitely has to share this burden, though. That's for sure. Hall of Fame game hella close. Let's go, Zach Thomas, baby. Yeah, man. I was excited seeing him hype us up yesterday, but the Hall of Fame game gets me even more pumped knowing football is right here on Thursday. I cannot wait. And then Zach Thomas gets finally enshrined. He deserved it. He's earned it, and it's going to be glorious to see him in Canton. Dollar Tree lineman off waivers and no stud/dogs. Raphael, tell me how you really feel, man. I get it. We really have not done any wonders on this offensive line, especially throughout the draft. I was a little confused. Ryan Hayes, 7th round, seems to be like a nice, good pick. It was a 7th rounder. Training camp. Well, throughout the offseason still, how am I trying to phrase this? There's going to be training camp cuts still, and I want us to pick up those guys. Hopefully, we'll be able to sift through, find some more gems on the offensive line. Maybe there's going to be some cap casualties, some unexpected veterans being released. But you're right. We don't have any bona fide stug or dog additions, man. Oof. Dollar Tree. Why isn't Zach coaching our linebackers? Man, wouldn't that be something? Raphael, if we had Jason Taylor coaching the D-line, Zach Thomas coaching the linebackers, we had Pat Surtain still with the DBs, freaking at every turn, a Dolphins legend. That'd be absolutely glorious. Wes Welker staying with the wide receivers, all nice and dandy. That'd be something. Um, get Richmond Webb to come for the offensive line. Get Ricky Williams, have him help with the running backs. I'm honestly down for this idea. I would love, love, love to see all of our Dolphins legends continue to actually give in a hand. But I know they come for that alumni day, so they'll probably give some nice tips. Um, yeah, at least I've created some free agent Walmart linemen, man. Hey, my big idea on this, on if we're going to superstore O line, if we're gonna, all love to our O line, Greer and McDaniel didn't really make some moves for it. My only belief in it, Liam Eichenberg had a solid day. He is 25, so I'm not too sure how he's going to continue improving. The Notre Dame Nugget has to do a lot better, but Austin Jackson, guys. Austin Jackson is still 23rd, turns 24 on August 11th, actually, the day of the preseason game versus the Falcons. So happy birthday to him on that day. Hopefully, we'll get a win. We'll be glorious, and he'll have a couple pancakes for his birthday. Screw cake. Get some pancakes, Mr. Austin Jackson. Warm the hearts of your fellow Dolphins fans because honestly, yes, he's 23, turning 24. Yes, he's very young. He was drafted with a lot of raw potential. This is obviously the year he's got to pull it all together. Him or Ibenogany are the two who has to prove the most. I don't think there's a world where Austin Jackson gets cut. There's talks of maybe Noah. Now that we've seen him work with first team, I doubt that as well. I don't think either of them should be because they're both 23 right now. And Austin Jackson, hopefully his best years of football are still ahead of him. When we drafted him, he was young, raw, he had just donated bone marrow to his sister the year before, and he had a lot to improve on. He still has plenty to improve on, but there has to be a reason why Greer and McDaniel have committed to staying with this lad. Okay. There has to be a reason why Liam Eichenberg and Austin Jackson are getting a chance to compete for a starting job between themselves. There has to be a reason, you know? So just give me a reason. Just give me a chance, baby. And I'll do it for you. We'll trust you. Okay. If you're staking your career, you're betting the future on Austin Jackson because it's not just the Dolphins' playoff hopes and the team and to his health, it's your job too. So if you're willing to take all that risk, who am I as a fan with my casual eye to discern anything further? So, Mr. Austin Jackson, Austin Jackson's going to have a career year. If he wins the right tackle job, which he will be NFL's best blindside tackle, left and right, causing havoc wherever he's called upon. Defenders will fear him. Running backs will love him. Quarterback will adore him as my man has a transcendent season this year. Okay. My guy will be an elite blue chip tackle by the end of the season. You betcha. It was very hard to keep a straight face for that. I I thought it was Ryan Hayes, but it might have been Austin Jackson. I know one of them Jen Phillips did end up on his butt. Okay. So there we go. Who will be wide receiver 3 in my opinion? Mr. Duke. This, I think, is my favorite battle to watch out for because, the cornerback battle does give me a little anxiety. It'll be fun to watch Kader Kahu and Cam Smith win, but I want both of them so bad. And if Noah wins, I'll be head scratching, but I've got to trust the coaches. Offensive line is a very anxiety inducing battle. I need to see what configuration we rock out for that. But the most fun, the most interesting battle for me will be this wide receiver 3-1. Low stakes, high rewards. We're talking about a position of it's going to be able to clean up and eat behind Waddle and Hill. Gesicki's gone, so we really need some more receiving power, some more receiving threat. Ideally, a bigger body, but I just need a playmaker, a baller out there. It's got to be between Braxton Berrios, Agent Frickin' Zero. He's been making some nice shifty plays. He's particularly got some nice chemistry with Mike White, so he's for sure going to be used throughout the year. If there's any injuries, hopefully not. But I just think he's solidifying himself into this team very well. A consummate professional. Now, you talk about a little bit younger, though. Eric Ezukanma switched over to number 18, and I'm loving this new energy, this new vibe from Eazy-E. He was a little raw from Texas Tech. He was used a lot different ways, but he was 6'3", 230. athletic, but still needed to learn and grow. And I think the battle between Eric Ezukanma and Braxton Berrios is going to be a phenomenal wide receiver 3 battle. Yes, we'll still see some challenges from Cedric Wilson, maybe from some Craycraft, but I do think that it's going to be Easy E or Berrios. And I'm hoping for Ezukanma, and then we'll see Berrios in some other roles. The other way around could probably make more sense just because Berrios is a little bit more versatile, and then Eric Ezukanma can be used in specific situations where he can succeed. But I trust. Oof. The thing is, with if it Welker will definitely see Berrios in him. You know what I'm saying? He'll see that same air. He's got that same, you know, same build of the Welkers, the Edelmans of the world. You know what I'm talking about. So Berrios, Agent Zero, I would love them there at wide receiver 3. The Eric Ezukanma, the upside would be absolutely glorious watching him work with a lot more reps in a professional role. My God, we're good to go. Wow. Bargain bill when life gives you lemons. Let's make lemonade. Exactly, Matt. When life gives me lemons, we make lemonade, and I'll pour some in my eyeballs too and tell you how delicious it tastes. That's how I rock and roll, baby. It can only go up from here. Oof, wide receiver 3 by committee, depending on situations. That's the true ideal way, honestly, Matt. If it's, hey, we just worry about Waddle and Hill getting as many snaps as they can handle, and then Barrios, Ezukanma, sprinkled in Craycraft here and there, Elijah Higgins, cool. Whatever you need to do to make mismatches, that's what I want to see. Okay, flipper, flipper, flipper. Let's go. Point out the dude. We're taking advantage of that situation. Wakata burning it for a touchdown. That's what I want to see more than anything. Players just committed to the team. Wide receiver 3 by committee would be glorious. Sun Sentinel Perkins answered my question about having 3 wide receivers hit 1,000 yard mark. I believe Hale, Waddle, and surprise chosen. They say no, and I say yes. LOL, bold picks. What do you think, Rafael? That's actually a good point. I forgot that Chosen Anderson could definitely make a spot to be wide receiver 3 on this team. He's been making some nice plays, especially on third down. He's so fast as well. Like Igbenogany's had a better camp. He uses his speed well to his advantage, but when you get a true speedster like Chosen, that's where you see the differences there. And I think Mr. Anderson is going to be a nice addition to this team. I think it's very bold to think that he gets 1,000 yards, but I'll play with it. We got the tinfoil hat on, so maybe not Chosen, but I do think that there could be a world where we have 3 receivers hit over 1,000. Now Tyreek wants to push for 2,000, so in this scenario, he'd probably have to miss some time, and then we'd have to see someone else step it up, or him just understand that he's going to have to share a little bit more of his cake, maybe a 1,600, 1,300, and a barely 1,000-yard season. That right there puts us at 3,900 yards between 3 receivers. So let's do. I would love that though. I mean, if 2 of those for 5,400 yards, that leaves him another 1,500 yards for a wide receiver 4, some tight ends, some running backs. I think he can do it. I think he can do it. Honestly, man. And if it's Chosen, so be it, man. That'd be a nice speed trio, unstoppable. Honestly, I think Chosen Anderson would be the slowest player in that trio, and he is an absolute blitzing, burning speed, man. Wow. So hey, I love the boldness. Live Moss, baby. Let's go. Yes, dude. Berrios and Cedric Wilson have been returning kicks. I've not tracked who has done more. When I've had special teams come up, I've been making sure my notes are clean, making sure that everything's fixed, taking it glimpses here and there. Sanders missed a couple field goals today, but when it comes to actual punts themselves and kicks, yes, it's been Berrios and Cedric Wilson. So that's been nice to see. I think A-Chain should start getting some more reps back there too with the speed. Hey, don't forget to add some vodka with the lemons. Let's go, depending on how tough the day is, Rafael. Leave them guessing, baby. Exactly, Matt. That would leave, I assume you're referring to the situation of a wide receiver 3 by committee. That would be the most ideal situation for the Dolphins. Really cause havoc, mismatch after mismatch. Defensive coordinators would be freaking out at night saying, what third way are we going to get burned? We know we're going to need a double up Waddle, double up Hill, but who is going to be that three? Or are we going to put a what corner are we going to put on him? What safety? What DB is going to be on it? What will we do? Leave them a guessing. And it is tough to scout 4 or 5 wide receiver threes, man. No, same point that you're making exactly. If we had that wide receiver 3 by committee, think about it. Hill and Waddle on the outside, and then your different combinations of Braxton Berrios, Chosen Anderson, Eric Ezukanma, Craycraft if he's out there. Like, it's a whole realm of possibilities for the offense and a whole scary nightmares for the defense to worry about. So that's what we're talking about, baby. Who would I prefer, Cook or Jacobs, or content with A-Chain / Mostert? Ooh. So if we were to get Dalvin Cook off of free agency, if we were to get Josh Jacobs, who still hasn't gotten his deal yet, or Jonathan Taylor, I guess maybe even Duke, I'd still rather sign a free agent running back rather than make a trade, unless we have ridiculous leverage and we're going to give them pennies on the dollar. I don't really want to have to trade for a back and then pay them a big deal, hurting the cap and our trade assets. Now, if we're getting them both for cheap, that's a different story. So the cheapest and most effective route is still to get Dalvin Cook. And then by proximity, you get freaking Cook, you steal him from the Jets. That's glorious in itself. So I would rather prefer Cook for the price tag he'll cost and just to steal one out from the New Jersey Paper Planes. But aside from that, talent-wise, Cook's still young, though, 27. Yeah, I mean, Taylor in an ideal world would be glorious, but we'd probably be giving up way too much on that end. And the Colts have already been adamant about not trading him. Jacobs is a baller as well. And hey, just get another Bama guy up in here. We'll keep on gelling. So I'm okay with any of those backs, honestly. But if we're going for the cheapest route, if I'm talking to myself with my own logic, I'm totally comfortable with A-Chain and Mostert. Like, Raheem was wearing the orange jersey the other day. He's still incredibly fast. And if he's going to be our running back 1, that's awesome. The big thing with him has always been health. It's been keeping him fresh, not giving him a crazy workload so he doesn't burn himself or run himself down into the ground. But Mike McDaniel knows him better than anyone else, having worked with him for so many years now in San Francisco and in Miami. I think he can keep him fresh. He did his best to last year. And with A-Chain sprinkling in, you'll have lightning with the speed of sound out there. So it's going to be glorious, man. Well, it's going to be wondrous to see. And I think it's going to be a great combination. Jeff Wilson's coming back in as well. Ahmed and Gaskin have looked fine. I think we have a decent running back room, cheap. Hopefully it's efficient. I do think that the offensive line has bigger to do than the running back situation. I think that's why we shied away from the run last year, is because the offensive line at times just couldn't do those same run blocking holes. It was the first time in a while I'd seen better pass protection for the Dolphins than there was run blocking protection. Wasn't saying much because it wasn't the best offensive line to begin with, but I'm hoping that we see a lot better run blocking this year. Ryan Hayes, Michigan, it's like the 6th time I've mentioned him, but he is better at run blocking than pass blocking, so that's good to note there. To his somersault, Tua was talking about doing the judo. I think that's what you're talking about, Roberto. I didn't note that, honestly. Also, the downside of just me being solo dolo, I was not able to rely on my buddies to be, what they say, 6 pairs of eyes are better than 2, especially with my glasses needing eyes. So I did not catch that, though. If Tua is working on his judo, that's awesome. I like this quote about admitting that he doesn't have it perfectly muscle memory down yet. He's got to still work on that. He's still conscious of it, but the subconscious efforts are starting to leak in, and that's what you want to see. I respect the judo play, man. Like I said before in the channel, I'm a black belt in Taekwondo, and I'm not fighting people every day left and right. I've rarely used my self-defense skills, but the discipline and the practice and the other practical applications of Taekwondo have been awesome in my life. So I can only imagine an athlete who's much smarter with his body than me. I'm sure Tua can figure it out, baby. So let's keep riding with it. Let's go. I do think that Teron Armstead would crush him if they were having a judo battle. I saw that on a tweet somewhere. No clue what that was in reference to, but Jesus, that wouldn't even be close. Any thoughts about a possible trade partner in Denver due to the rash of injuries to wide receiver group? Hamler and Patrick. Yes, hearts go out to KJ Hamler and Tim Patrick. Tim Patrick lost for the season twice, 2nd year in a row. That's devastating, man. Oh, heart to KJ Hamler. Wow. So no pun intended when I said hearts go out to KJ Hamler and Tim Patrick. On unintended pun there. So I apologize for that. I do hope both of them are okay, though, especially KJ Hamler with the heart condition. Um, Patrick with the ACL, that's tough considering it's the second year in a row missing the season like that. I could see us trading Cedric Wilson. That could definitely be an option. Like I said, we have a very deep wide receiver room, particularly at the wide receiver 3 role. So if we were to make a trade, Cedric Wilson would be the most sense because of we freeing up money. And then the other guys are just younger. We just brought in Barrios, so I don't think same thing with Anderson. I don't think it'll be a trade option. Uh, Anderson needs to make the team. I think he might get cut, if anything. I don't see that now, but I don't think we'll trade him. And then Eric Izukanma, way too young, way too good. I don't want to trade him yet. So if we were to trade Cedric Wilson, I'd love to be able to save some money. I'm not a capologist, so I'm just gonna guess off my head. I think we saved like 8 million, maybe like 5, because I'm not sure if it's 8 million a year for him or if it comes out to like half of that with incentives and blah blah blah. So let's say conservatively we're gonna save anywhere from $5 to $8 million trading away Cedric Wilson. I love that. My intern is a little slow right now. He's not Googling anything for me. Sorry. So we'll be good on that end. Ooh, now we're both really. I would say 3 receivers hitting 1,000 yards means we're winning the Super Bowl. I would say possible next season. Let's get some playoff wins this year, build confidence this year, fill some holes in the offseason. Matt, I love the realistic nature, and at some point I'm going to have to dial myself back in. You know, I can feel myself running down the rabbit hole, going at full sprint. Like I need to contain myself. I might have to talk to some of my more realist friends because yes, Raphael will be real, Raphael. 3 receivers with 1,000 yards is probably way too tough for the Dolphins right now. But if we were to do it, that would mean a glorious season ahead. I do think we have a phenomenal season. So, Matt, while I appreciate the realism, I think I like the playoff wins comics. I do think we're going to get playoff wins. Why not a Super Bowl? Like, why not us, man? Like, why not the Miami Dolphins winning the Super Bowl? Year 2 of Mike McDaniel, year 2 as a play caller, year 2 as a head coach, year 1 of Fangio, coming out of the retirement, whipping up the new schemes, bada bing, bada bang. The defense coming into its own. David Long continues this tremendous training camp he's had, and he goes to be one of the top 10 middle linebackers in the NFL. Ramsey comes back to a defense that has a top 5 secondary without him, and with him has the best secondary in the NFL. We continue to see this Dolphins defense lights out, smothering everyone that they see. They come into contact, stifling them, killing them in their pass. Oh my days. The offense clicking left and right, touchdown, bada bing, bada bang. One play here, 4 plays there, drive here, running play there, bang, bang, bang. Why not a Super Bowl in our vision? Why not glory in our sights, Matt? I've already got the confidence enough for everybody, man. Let's ride. Man, I'm getting too excited. Thank God tomorrow is a rest day for the Dolphins and for myself so I can come back to planet Earth because I'm in fantasy land right now, baby. 2024 Super Bowl win. Oh, baby. Early MVP prediction. I believe you mean for the team, Duke. If it's for the NFL, let me know. But if it's for the team, I'm definitely going to say that I think that if it's for the team, I'm gonna probably have to put our Jalen Phillips. I think is gonna have a phenomenal season. I think he's actually gonna be in Defensive Player of the Year talks. No tinfoil hat needed. I think we're gonna talk about a guy who's gonna have. See, Jason Taylor had 18 and a half sacks a couple of years ago. I think Cameron Wake had 16 and a half or like 14 and a half. I definitely think that Jalen Phillips is going to have more than 15 sacks. If he can push 19, I don't think he'll hit 20. But if Jalen Phillips can tear it up that way, oh, baby, we're going to see him be absolutely monstrous. I would love to see him hit those Defensive Player of the Year talks. But hey, baby, do a MVP. You know what I'm saying? That'd be glorious, especially if we're talking about multiple 1,000-yard seasons for our receivers. Again, plenty of touchdowns, plenty of scoring, a lot better health this year, more wins, playoff berth. Yes, Tua would be an MVP the guy, because it would show that last year with basically the same team, we missed we didn't have a playoff win. We were shoddy up and down without Tua. This year with a year of healthy Tua, MVP time, the numbers support it. Yeah, that'd be the glorious move right there. Oh baby. But if not, it's got to be probably Phillips, Tyreek, and Tua. You see Steelers taking our old players, Zamir White and we got rid of Lovett. I thought we had a second fullback in camp, but could have been my mistake. Dolphins roster still says we have John Lovett, so Rafael maybe. I'm not sure though. I could be wrong. He'll forget about Chosen being wide receiver one for Jets and the Panthers. Maybe Arizona. He did something to Dude's Coco. Hey man, Chosen Anderson, Robbie Anderson, as he was called before, definitely had a nice long career in the NFL. He could be a nice wide receiver 3 for us. His speed's always been something different. I liked him in Carolina. I think he could have been a better pairing with DJ Moore when he got traded away to Arizona. It was definitely interesting, but now he's in Miami. I'm rooting for him. Let's ride, man. Fins 11-6, Jets 10-7, Bills 10-7, Pats 5-12. I definitely see this as basically the standings finishing the same. Pats definitely in last place. I got them 5-12, 6-11. Dolphins, I've got us at 12-5 though. The Jets and the Bills, I'm actually going to switch up. I think the Bills are going to hit 10-7, but the Jets are going to go with little 9-8, man. Womp, womp, womp. Rodgers is going to hold it down. It's going to be too sad. Sorry, Jets. Oh, well, not my problem because the New Jersey Paper Planes suck. I want Rodgers to fail in New York. Breece Hall, take as long as you need with your recovery time, please. I hope for the best for you and a much pleasant years to come. But let's start with a little slow year for the Jets this year, guys. Let's go. They were saying that Jalen Waddle is worse than Garrett Wilson. Some even had the audacity to say he's worse than Alan Lazard. I can't wait till Jalen Waddle has a better year than both those chaps. Let's ride. Much appreciated. Hey, you answered chat questions and freaking outstanding takes. Rafael, thank you, man. I appreciate that. What's I always love interacting with the chat. I was gonna try to maybe just post a video, but then I thought, you know what? The chat's always a fun time. It helps stimulate it lot more, helps me talk it out. And I could talk for hours alone, but with people in the chat, it helps me just get some nice takes out as well. So thank you guys for making this show awesome. If you've got more comments, more things you want me to talk about, more players you want note of, more players you want me to take note of in the future, feel free to drop those in the chat as well, in the comments afterwards. I'll be sure to look at that. Keep responding in the moment, though. That's always the best part, man. Rodgers will be the new Favre in New Jersey, man. That's the hope. He keeps following in his shadow, and I hope he continues in that little slide of disgrace, man. Crashing into the end of his career. He might even end up in Minnesota afterwards and continue just flaring out. Timing would end up pretty perfectly when Kirk Cousins is moving on from Minnesota. Rodgers could slide back in there for the very end of his very sad, pitiful career. Absolutely glorious. Got to have my buddy David on the show. It would be lovely to trash on Aaron Rodgers with him. My buddy was a Packers fan for so many years, and he's got a very, very, very funny takes on Rodgers now that he's a New Jersey Jet. So, oops. I would love to have David. I'll show you this clip later, and I'll have you on the show. Well, once you're done with your, you got your medical school exams, blah blah blah. But we'll talk soon, buddy. He's for 50 or 56, Turk or Bailey. So the Turk or Bailey battle is also another one that's interesting. Like low stakes, high reward. Again, punter, but we're dealing with either rookie Michael Turk out of Oklahoma, 6'1", 220. He's literally built beast. Or Bailey, he also be pretty nice. It's either rookie or a veteran. I would hope Turk keeps it, and we could have a cheaper guy on the deals for next couple of years. But who knows? I'm hoping for Turk. And then for 50 or 56, I know is Garrett Wilson off the top of my head. He's definitely had a nice little year so far. I'm I'm head over heels on the kids. Okay. Black shirt at Nebraska. He already won my heart there. And the fact that he seems to be just gelling with the team, he's been vibing with Jalen Phillips. He's been posted by a social media team the last couple of days, just getting hype. He's jacked. He's got the flow. He looks the part. And hey, coaches come up to him before drills, after drills. They like him. They're talking to him. They clap him up. They put a hand on the shoulder, give him a handshake, whatever it may be. I'm liking that connection he's showing with his teammates and with his coaches. Hopefully, it's good signs to come. I think he'll make the team. And then Mitchell Agude, definitely butchering that name, is number 50. He had a very nice day on day 2. Nice little run stops out of The kid's another good rookie. Honestly, we have a lot of good undrafted free agents this year. It really reminds me of that year when we had like Neville Hewitt, like Virgil Hole. Like we had some good UDFAs that year, and it looks like it's going to be another one this time. The Dolphins always seem to find those little UDFA diamonds in the rough. It's the early picks we miss on. We make up for it with later guys. But hey, the formula continues. Hopefully, we've got some nice guys so far. Turk's actually number 49, so that's pretty funny to me. Dang. Oh, so if that was on ESPN, then yeah, man, I've got to look more into it. Regardless, I wasn't not too concerned on John Lovett. At the end of the day, Alec Ingold's still looking nice in camp, and that's the guy I want. And Tanner Connor, if he's able to perform again, come back fully healthy, that'd be glorious as well. My brother Andres, Mr. P. Hey, what is up, Lamoza? How we doing? Loving the content. Based on what I have seen so far, which side of the ball ceiling is higher? Ooh. Duke Tannehill is still in Tennessee. His job to lose until Will Levis takes it. But brother Andres, which side of the ball ceiling is higher? So last year, Dolphins offense was a top 10 in scoring wise, right? So if let's put on the which side of the ball has a higher ceiling? I'm gonna have to go with I think the defense has the opportunity to the best defense in the NFL. I really see all those pieces there. Like I can see it happening, but there's always that debate of who's truly the best. And Ramsey not being there until December really does slow it down a bit. But I do think it has the potential to be the best in the NFL. Let's call it top 5. If the Dolphins hit on their run game, if the O-line stays healthy, if Tua stays healthy, and our wide receivers just do what they do, we will have the best, most electric offense in the NFL. You could already make claims at times last year it was showing through. You remove the health concerns, you have production as these guys as it should be on paper, and my God, we'll have an unstoppable offense, especially going against such a vaunted defense every day in a practice. When they go against other defense in the NFL, I have to believe they're going to say, this is it. This is all we're playing against. Tell me you have more in the tank. No? Boom. Let's drop 4 or 5 touchdowns on you then, like magic. So while I do think the defense has the potential to be the best in the NFL, I think this Dolphins offense can be even greater working against that vaunted defense. Yeah, Duke, that is an extra. Ooh, that is a youth large, baby. That is a youth large Tannehill jersey. So it is my first Dolphins jersey. It's his rookie year, 2012. I was so naive. I still need a 4th jersey. I keep it there as a reminder of humility, hubris. Remember that I do not know everything, but keep my childlike wonder. So we've got more to go. But yeah, that is a Tanny jersey. Good players will be cut from the 53-man roster. We are not accustomed to doing so as Finn fans. We have a much stronger roster and staff. Players want to come to Fins again. Matt, we started to have that problem last year, but I 1,000% agree with you. This year, it's going to be even harder. I see tough cuts from the linebackers, tough cuts from interior defensive linemen. Brandon Peely, please make the roster. You are so good. Tough cuts from the secondary and from the wide receivers. I think those are going to be our 2 toughest rooms. We're going to have to keep 3 quarterbacks, it looks like, also, because Mike White and Skylar Thompson are very close at QB2, and 2 is QB1, but there's injury, of course. So all 3 of those guys will be on the roster. Running backs will probably keep 4, maybe 5. So it's going to be another tough year of cuts, man, but it's a good problem to have when we're this talented. Cook to Seattle could be interesting, depending on how long Charbonnet and Walker are going to be out for. I know it's significant time. To Josh Jacobs, I like what he's done. Jonathan Taylor is younger though, but he'll probably cost more trade wise. Any idea who best option is when covering tight ends like Kelsey this season? That is the only thing. Like last year when we had Gesicki, it was a little easier to see who was going to cover that big body guy. I have to believe we were. So before this, I was hoping we were going to put Jalen Ramsey on him. Now, without Ramsey, I've got to reassess that. We might have to. We don't have Eric Rowe this year, so maybe we'll go Holland. David Long might be asked to do that as well. I'm not too sure. I'm going to have to look into that more. Duke, that's a great point. Screenshotting so I can remember to cover this later. So thank you, Mr. Duke. But as of now, I'm going to probably say it's going to be Holland or Long. Completely out me bummed though. I'm not too sure. No worries. I too have Tannehill jersey. I'm still pissed. Hey man, I liked Ryan. I hope for the best for him. I was joking around that if he did get released by Tennessee, I would have loved to see him in Miami again as a backup, so that jersey could have some sense again. But hey, I like Tanny. He's been fine. That pretty much does seem to wrap it up, though, guys. I'm trying to think if there's any other players that really stuck out to me. None too much that I can think of. There's no practice tomorrow. I'm going to re-go over my videos, probably do either go live again or I might post a just kind of recap of the first 3 days, and then we'll just break it down. If there's any other comments, questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'd love to answer them either now or in the video for tomorrow. If you guys have anybody you want me to keep an eye out for in the next couple of practices, again, I'm going Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I've been paying a lot of attention to the secondary. I've been paying a lot of attention to the secondary, to the linebackers. I need to watch a little bit more of our D linemen, our O linemen, wide receivers, running back are a little easier to keep track of, and QB as well. But it's a very interesting team, guys. I struggle to take it all in at times because I feel like a kid in a candy store. I'm just watching everything, but it's pretty glorious, man. No, I think Trill Williams will be at corner. He's still in the no contact. Him and Brandon Jones were in pads with no contact, though. So it was nice to see them putting in reps, particularly Brandon Jones. But I think Trill will be a big boy corner. In the same scenarios that we were talking about wide receiver 3, how it would be like by committee, I would hoping that our cornerback 3 and 4 is also a little bit more by committee. Guys just in the right packages, right scenarios, just mixing it up, giving the quarterbacks different looks. Tune in on Thursday, 1,000%, Raphael. Exactly, man. Bangarang, Mr. Duke. Take care, Nando. Later, homie. Later to you as well. To everyone, thank you for tuning in. I'm very excited for the practices to keep going underway. Thursday, I'll be going again, I think with my buddy Alan, maybe with a couple other of my friends. The more eyes, the better. It's easy for me. But if I am able to catch you guys at camp, please let me know. That'd be awesome. I'm a little scatterbrained, so sometimes I'll miss people. But if you say my name, if you say Nando, Fernando, I've got very good hearing, very bad eyesight. So call out to me. I'll be sure to turn around. Love the chat. Love to interact. Cap for life. If you go to the practice again, that'd be awesome. But this goes to anyone who I'll be able to catch up and tune in with, catch up and talk with. Thank you for tuning in. I'm mixing up all my words right now. But the point I'm trying to get across is I'd love to interact with more Dolphins fans at training camp, preseason, in the regular season. Just love to talk to more Fins. So please let me know how it goes, guys. And hey, it's an absolute pleasure. It's an absolute pleasure, honestly. And I'm going to keep looking forward to just keep going back into the camp, keep taking more notes, hopefully get some more autographs for the hat. And this will hopefully turn into a good look charm, a nice little talisman to wrap it all together. So, hey, I'm very excited for this, and we'll keep diving into camp. So, thank you all for tuning in. Bless you all, and bless all our Dolphins. Exactly, man. That's how I'd be feeling the same way. Fins up from Australia, from the U.S., from whatever continent, whatever country you may be watching, whatever state. We're all Dolphins, and that's what I love the most, man. Fins up, Matt, Raphael, Duke, everybody for tuning in tonight. It's always been a pleasure. Always a fun time talking to some fellow Fins fans. If you've got anything else you want me to check out, feel free to drop it below. But if not, I will catch you tomorrow and Thursday for sure as we return to practice. So without further ado, chins up, fins up, and I will see you all tomorrow and Thursday. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay safe out there. Peace. Thanks for watching, everybody.